never thought unifying Stillwater was impossible. The Vice Kings, West Side Rollers, and Los Carnales had been fighting for years, but I knew I had what it took to get the job done. We all wanted the same things, and we had a better chance at getting them if we worked together. Figured making them a deal was worth a shot. And I was right. Life was good. We had it all. Nobody was making us scared to walk the streets. But on Devil's Night, the Ministry of Gluttony invaded. Probably thought we were easy targets. Instead, they ran right into a united front. Legion had no idea what hit them. Turns out Persephone remembered me when she decided to start saving the world. Guess I made an impression. And hey, I'm always looking to grow my brand.
You're detecting a massive surge in the soul energy grid. The source is the fusion reactor exhibit.
Gremlin thinks Hammersmith is the most likely culprit, and Rama confirmed he is now in Seoul.
No questions? Good.
Everyone got their keys?
All right, let's go!
Someday I want to push the button, Friday.
Yo, Friday, it's go time.
Perfect. Proceed to the fusion reactor exhibit. The location is on your map. The site will appear to be under construction, but somebody got the reactor working.
The hammer dude?
That's Gremlin's theory. She's here to provide technical support.
Hey there, it's me. If I'm reading these schematics correctly, we should start from the bottom and work our way up.
What are you doing here, Legion?
Home of the sonoluminescent fusion exhibit. We're sorry. Let's start with the acoustic doohickey at the bottom of the reactor. It's a big, round, glowy thing. Using sound waves. Technology on display here.
Ah! Explosions!
Ooh, let's check it out. Uh-oh, Legion's overloading the reactor. That control unit's all blown to hockey sticks. We better have a look at the transient cavitation chamber.
Whoa! Keep my cavitation chamber out of this.
Should be further up a ways. Don't know how the heck they got this contraption working.
Sorry, I just blow shit up. Don't ask me how it works.
Damn!
I'm not dealing with this.
Oh boy, this one's overloaded too. Glad I'm not standing next to that thing.
Thanks, Gremlin. You gonna provide some exposition here or what?
Either Legion wants to blow up half the city, or they're diverting the power somewhere.
If Legion wanted to blow up the city, they'd have done it by now.
Legion is deploying Hell Troopers to secure the building. They're coming in through the roof.
And I was just getting into all this science.
At the tippy top is where it all hooks up to the grid. Better check it out. Efforts have finally succeeded. This exhibit
Legion. What now?
Let's have a look at that control unit.
Huh? This one is working.
Friday, check this out. We've got a ton of data here.
Nice work, Gremlin. Agents, based on my calculations, they must be routing the power to the planetarium.
Hey, they're putting on a light show. Can we check it out?
Let's get going. What could Legion be doing at the planetarium?
I want to make a joke about Uranus.
Ha! That's funny! I don't mean to be a prude, but please, no jokes about Uranus. Besides, the proper pronunciation is Uranus. It's a dactyl.
Sorry, Friday.
Need a pick-me-up?
Hey, I'm picking up some weird fluctuations in the gravitational field.
It appears to be localized above the planetarium.
Whoa, it's a tractor beam. What do you think they're tractoring?
Sounds like Uranus.
Let's nip this in the bud, shall we? You're approaching the planetarium now. We've confirmed Legion forces have taken up positions around the facility. You should expect to face some resistance.
What a lovely surprise. The agents of Mayhem.
Hammersmith? This is a secure channel.
You think too highly of your technological prowess. Do I have to come over there and kill you myself?
Hey, there's something happening in that outdoor theater area.
Why, yes. I turned this planetarium into my very own tractor beam control center.
Agent, we need access to those controls. I've marked the location. All right, let's secure the area.
In March 1781, British astronomer Sir William...
Yeah, baby!
German astronomer
Done and done.
Excellent. See if you can access those tractor beam controls.
Whoa! Is that the Cermak Comet? Hey, Hammersmith! What you doing with that comet?
I can't divulge my secrets, but let's say it's of relevance to my current employer.
Whatever's in that comet, we don't want Legion to have it.
Oh, really? And how exactly do you plan to stop me?
What's that guy's name again?
He routed the controls over to that field console.
Shut it down, Agent. We need to deactivate this tractor beam.
Oh, please, don't flatter yourself. My hell troopers and I will make short work of your underlings. Besides, how will you get past my shield?
Let me at him. They'll go down quick.
Time to turn it up.
Wow, you got the shield down.
Quickly, hack the console.
Yeah, I will hack the console now.
Okay, time for plan B. Your meddling was amusing at first, but now you're becoming a nuisance.
Damn it! He rerouted the controls again.
He's running out of consoles, Friday. We'll have this tractor beam down in no time.
Are there any other planets we could learn about?
Hey, you hear about Pluto? Pluto got fucked.
I can take him down faster.
Yes, the shield is down.
Go for it. Now's your chance.
Okay, I know what to do.
Uranus is over 25,000 kilometers in diameter.
Touché! How dare you! This is no mere tractor beam. This is the Hammersmith Graviton Induction Resonator.
We're almost there. Keep the pressure on.
You feel that? Do you feel that?
I will double whatever Persephone is paying if you'll never bother me again. Ah!
Smell you later, old guy.
Time to shut this whole thing down.
Call Uranus their home.
Yeah! We turned off the tractor beam.
Brilliant work. Now to figure out why Legion wants that comet so badly.
Don't be so pleased with yourselves, Mayhem. You are not going to like Plan B. We have time for one final demonstration.
to the clam!
Welcome to the darkest timeline! You about to get wrecked!
Mayhem! I should have known.
Pre-order Agents of Mayhem now, and see how good bad versus evil can be.
This, so you get to see the cutscene again.
I never thought unifying Stillwater was impossible. The Vice Kings, West Side Rollers, and Los Carnales had been fighting for years, but I knew I had what it took to get the job done. We all wanted the same things, and we had a better chance at getting them if we worked together. Figured making them a deal was worth a shot. And I was right. Life was good. We had it all. Nobody was making us scared to walk the streets. But on
Getting ready.
the Ministry of Gluttony invaded.
Getting prepared.
Probably thought we were easy targets. Instead, they ran right into a united front. Legion had no idea what hit them. Turns out Persephone remembered me when she decided to start saving the world. Guess I made an impression. And hey, I'm always looking to grow my brand.
All right. So yeah, let's try and do this at a higher difficulty mode. So Agents of Mayhem has about 15 difficulty modes. And you know, I usually end up playing in the higher ones just because I'm so used to playing this game. But like, it still gets really rough. So like the squad we have, everyone's at level 10, so they have both their specializations, which you can see are those icons above their name there. Okay, so like the demo, it's the show floor demo is set to level 3, which is operative. So, you know, we'll just go up. Let's go up to, okay, the other difficulty levels are locked, but let's jump up to Super Agent actually, which will still be with level 10 characters. That's still gonna be kind of rough. I'm still going to use this squad too, actually. One other character is actually available in the demo, which is Rama. She's available to play as well, but I think actually I like this loadout more anyways, so... Granted, I could probably bump up the difficulty even higher if I go use a console command. And yeah, some other people in the chat are talking about this, and I'll say it again for people who are watching on YouTube. The cutscenes in the game are skippable. It's just the ones for the show floor specifically are not. But in the actual game, when it's released, you'll be able to skip cutscenes if you'd like. Especially since there's mission replay in the game, so you might want to skip when you're replaying with different agents or whatever.
Location is on your map. The site will appear to
And also those later difficulties are specifically locked for the show floor. The later difficulty levels, except for like the final 3, I believe, are all unlocked from the beginning. So here, let's pop open this console, type in Never Die. Okay, now it's false, so there's no God mode now. Let's see if I can remember. Okay, I do remember the commands for changing difficulty. Let's see. Difficulty, set level. We're gonna do... How about 10? Let's see what happens with a 10 difficulty level. Somebody shouted 37. If I hit 37, nothing would actually probably happen, since technically I think in the console it goes up to 16, because we also have a level 0 difficulty, which is like the easiest one that actually reduces the amount of money and experience you make by like 25%. Just because it's super duper easy, that level specifically. Yeah, let's see.
What are you doing here, Legion?
Let's see how well this goes.
Let's start with the acoustic doohickey at the bottom of the reactor. It's a big, round, glowy thing.
All right, let's see if I can speed run this part specifically.
Ah! Explosions!
Ooh, let's check it out. Uh-oh, Legion's overloading the reactor. That control unit's all blown to hockey sticks. We better have a look at the transient cavitation chamber.
Where do I find that?
Should be further up a ways.
All right, so
Don't know how the heck they got
this demo. So somebody was joking when this game was resting on the start screen. The counter in the upper right said just like 88, 88, 88. Because the actual demo countdown timer has not started yet, so that's just what it defaults to.
This power factory is dangerous.
But, you know, somebody joked that I had played the game for 88 hours. You would probably not believe the amount of hours I have actually played this game. You know, just working on it, seeing throughout the development what stuff gets added, when you're in the phase when stuff is getting rapidly changed gameplay-wise, or maybe even content-wise and stuff, so... I have hundreds of hours in this game. I don't even really know how many anymore. It's a lot. It might even be over 1,000. I don't, you know. After working on a game for 2 years.
At the tippy top is where it all hooks up to the grid. Better check it out.
All right, let's see how rough this gets. I think I'll still be able to handle myself pretty well just because level 10 still gives you some options. Okay, yeah, those guys are beefier, and they are actually taking out a decent amount of my health per shot. So people who do tons of scatter shots, like the Blitz Troopers here, are actually pretty dangerous. Ah, crap. Almost fell off. But even when you're... I found even if you're a little underleveled, it's still possible to wreck stuff pretty well, specifically if you... have specifically really good builds and really good combinations of characters. Here, let's get in their face quickly with Red Card, just because his shotgun is really high damage as well. Red Card's also probably one of my favorites, just because I can... Even without switching to another agent, he can both do close and short range combat. You know what? Let's Kingpin. So his default special is just equipped from the get-go here. When enemies get hit by the explosion, they're enfeebled, so their defense gets really low, or at least a decent amount lower. Which again, if you're lower level, or you're fighting somebody on a much higher difficulty level, it helps out a lot. It kind of brings them back to your level a little bit. Oh yeah, that commanders definitely want to lower their defense here. Vulnerability. Do this. So Red Card special is also kind of dangerous to use if you're like a lower level and not playing in a higher difficulty mode, just because, well, it does some splash damage and you hit lots of dudes, especially if you charge it up a lot. It also makes him take more damage until like you use the special. So
Friday, check this out. We've got a ton of data here.
Nice work, Gremlin. Agents, based on my calculations, they must be routing the power to...
All right.
The planetarium.
Hey, they're putting on a light show. Can we check it out?
Let's get going.
And yeah, I guess since, everybody here saw...
Hey, there's good beer on Uranus.
Ha! That's funny! I don't mean to be a prude, but...
since we went through this demo once, I may as well switch up which character I'm playing in which spot, especially when the dialogue comes up, because again... The agents all have their own responses for whatever's happening in any mission. I always overdrift that corner.
Hey, I'm picking up some weird fluctuations in the gravitational field.
It appears to be localized above the planetarium.
Whoa, it's a tractor beam. What do you think they're tractoring?
Uranus.
Let's nip this in the bud, shall we? You're approaching the planetarium
Oops.
now. We've confirmed Legion forces have taken up positions around the facility. You should expect to face some resistance.
What a lovely surprise. The agents of Mayhem.
Hammersmith? This is a secure channel.
You think too highly of your technological prowess. Do I have to come over there and kill you myself?
Hey, there's something happening in that outdoor theater area.
I turned this planetarium into my very own tractor beam control center.
Agent, we need access to those controls. I've marked the location.
Ah, of course, a cop bot is also getting in my face. So yeah, that Mayhem move with red card is also good on really high difficulties. Specifically because anybody who gets hit by it gets reduced to 1 point of health. So even if it doesn't matter what level they are or what level you are, like. Oh, actually, I picked up another Mayhem star, which automatically fills up my Mayhem. So I'll just do this again. I might have like over 2,000 health, but it doesn't really matter if they're immediately reduced to being killed in a single hit from any character. Yeah, just yell everything to death. That's what the Manny in the chat says. It works really well.
All right, let's secure the area.
And you know what? I believe we also have a couple other gremlin tech available, so we'll use the Cabot bomb. Ah, crap. Gotta reload, though. Wait, there were two Cabots? Wow, okay, sure.
Done and done!
Excellent. See if you can access those tractor beam controls.
Orbit once every 84 years.
Whoa! Is that the Cermak Comet? Hey, Hammersmith! What you doing with that comet?
I can't divulge my secrets, but let's say it's of relevance to my current employer.
Whatever's in that comet, we don't want Legion to have it.
Oh, really? And how exactly do you plan to stop me?
You want to see real pain? Tag me in.
Wait, hammer time?
He routed the controls over to that field.
So yeah, one of the other things regarding the difficulty here,
This tractor beam.
I'm actually not having too bad of a time. I do have to be more careful than I normally would.
Besides, how are you
Specifically just because that, yeah, like the enemies do hit a lot harder. Like any of the weaker characters, like probably the Kingpin's the weakest one I have, like as far as how much health and shield he has. But this mission is also fairly early on in the game. So there's certain enemy types that do not pop up in this mission that pop up later. And those guys, especially on higher difficulty modes, get a lot harder. You know, you've seen like the tank troopers and, oh geez, he almost killed me there. Wow. Okay. I had about 100 health left there. But yeah, there's stuff like the tank troopers, the pride bots, stuff like that get a lot tougher. Also the snipe troopers. I found the snipe troopers specifically are the things that might mess me up the most on higher difficulty modes, just because, you know, they're far away. If you have a close range character, which I frequently do because I like the close range ones in this game, they cannot deal with snipers unless they're hardtack and they can throw a harpoon to bring them to them. So when you're in the fray
Was amusing at first,
with
but
a ton of people like right in your face, sometimes you don't notice the sniper aiming right for your head until it's too late.
He's running out of consoles, Friday. We'll have this tractor beam down in no time.
Are there any other planets we could learn about?
Hey, you hear about Pluto? Pluto got fucked.
Alright. Also, Pierce's Kingpin's Mayhem ability works pretty good in high difficulty modes too, just because, you know, it just fucking makes everybody stop for a little bit. So you just get some breathing room. Okay.
The shield is down. Go for it.
Everybody else dead? Oh no, there's 2 dudes left.
Okay, I know what to do.
Wow, 3 health. Okay. Put red card away for a little bit. Nah. I'm not playing as well as I could with Daisy either, because her loadout in the demo is not the loadout I usually have for her, because I generally try and go for having her gun overheat faster, so that she can stay in jammer mode for longer. Because I really like how hard she hits with her melee when her gun's overheated.
This is the Hammersmith Graviton Induction Resonator.
We're almost there. Keep the pressure
Okay,
on.
this time, since he's got more health than before, try to get some vulnerability on him first before I start mowing him down with Daisy. Because if I can just land a whole bunch of headshots like right away, I can cut through his health really fast. Still taking a while though, jeez.
The work of a master.
Smell you later, old guy.
Time to shut.
Every time I play this mission, I almost always try and finish him off with Daisy's Mayhem. But again, if you actually play this mission for real for the first time, you're not going to have Daisy yet, most likely.
Yeah, we turned off the tractor beam.
Brilliant work. Now to figure out why Legion wants that comet so badly.
Don't be so pleased with yourselves, Mayhem. You are not going to like Plan B.
Legion. They've attacked all around the world. In this case, we're in Seoul. They're doing some kind of plots, and you're trying to figure out what that is. This is the arc here, and this is where you can see the beginning of the plot.
So, talk to us a little bit about Seoul, right? Interesting location, new to the franchise in a way. What attracted you guys to Seoul?
So we knew that Agents of Mayhem had to represent sort of a global feel. That the Legion attacked around the world, agents defend the world. So basically, we wanted to choose something that wasn't in the United States or something that we had already seen typically. We liked Seoul because it was a lot of technology that we thought was going to be cool to showcase and push. And we just thought it was a cool place that we hadn't seen very much of. So.
Who's this guy? I'm sorry, I'm very fond of this guy.
Yeah, so this is one of our Legion lieutenants, August Gaunt. You might recognize him as sort of looking like another pop star you might know. But he has this device called the Get Gaunt that basically sort of hypnotizes his fans and gets them to do what he wants. So that's one of the things that Legion has to basically, or agents have to stop.
I mean, you know, any fan of this franchise is going to see this and go, okay, this is exactly where I want this to be, right? So I can tell you guys had a lot of fun with this.
Yes.
So this is a little bit different too, because the sort of animated cutscenes, is that to do with the location, or is that any significance?
We really wanted to call back to the old 80s and 90s cartoons that we grew up with, and Agents of Mayhem is based a lot on those kinds of things like G.I. Joe, and so we thought it would be cool to show a lot of the action in those 2D cutscenes and sort of have a juxtaposition to the actual in-game.
So, who are these guys that we're looking at now? Because I'm familiar with kind of building my own character, but it looks like you guys have done all the work for me here.
Yeah, well, basically, because we wanted to make this game about the various agents, we thought it was important that we made these iconic ones, and so we have 12 here in the game. We'll have more in DLC as well. But basically, each of the 12 have their own unique look, abilities, super powers, and they all have different gadgets that can change their their equipment. They can also put on different costumes. So here you can see Kingpin, who actually is the Agents of Mayhem version of Pierce from Saints Row. And so here, Will's changing to different outfits for him.
Now, from what I understand, every agent obviously plays a little bit different, and that's where you're going to have, sort of the player style, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the customization in the game is based off of not the visual customization like in Saints Row, but rather the gameplay. So you can change how all their special abilities, what their passive abilities are, all of those kinds of things. So here we have Oni, Kingpin, and Yeti. Yeti is Oleg from Saints Row, and they all have different abilities. So Oni is he does a lot of critical hits against enemies. These are assassins, Yakuza. Yeti is this sort of cold warrior from Moscow, so he's got to freeze more street tactics.
So game looks gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah. One of the things you guys did here is using that Redcon ending from God Out of Hell to kind of rewrite the history of these characters.
Yep.
So this isn't Pierce as we know him.
Right. It's a alternate version of him. What the Agents of Mayhem version
is. Because this feels like a big part of the storyline, I also feel like that is going to play into some of the hilarity that is this game. Is that like for me to wait and find out, or
we have a lot of cool callbacks, different things, good references that you'll see.
Yeah, how essential is it that you've played Saints Row?
You can really, if you're not familiar with Saints Row, you can be able to pick this up and know everything. You don't have to really have a lot of background because this is its own game essentially.
What kind of elements did you find kind of most successful when you guys did Saints Row that you thought you had to include here, especially for fans of the series?
Really, we thought that having the humor, the tone, that's something that Saints Row fans respond to a lot. So we have a lot of those things in here. Just the ability to kind of mayhem, right? It's in the name of the game. It's something you did in Saints Row, and so we think it's a really big thing to be able to do here in Seoul.
Well, talk to be able to inflict upon Seoul here, because Seoul is it's a beautiful, very organized, very clean city. So I'm a little worried about what you guys are going to do here.
Yeah. So basically, most of your damage is going to be against the Legion enemies, but pedestrians can get caught in the crossfire, and then really, you're not penalized for killing pedestrians. We don't reward you for it, but if For Mayhem, it's important that they get the job done, not that they're necessarily saving lives.
Collateral damage is a thing.
They're stopping Legion, they're not necessarily saving lives.
And how many iconic, what are the things that, visitors and residents of Seoul are going to recognize? What's most important about being in Seoul for your game?
Really, we wanted to capture the juxtaposition of the modern high-tech, the building up new technology, but also typical Asian architecture and things. If you went to Seoul today, you would see a lot of the same things. Maybe not this per se, but
never been to Scandals.
Yeah.
So in this case, you kind of just switch between the agents that are kind of in your squad. Okay. And then the other question is, you mentioned you were on the Ark, and it looked like there was some sort of I'm choosing missions or my directives there. When we're sort of down and we've warped down, are there opportunities to branch beyond that, or am I kind of just focusing on what my mission at hand is?
Picking the mission from the Ark actually just gives you information about where it is. At any point, you can actually decide to go and do something completely different. And you're not locked into that per se. It's just a quick way to decide what you want to do before you hit Seoul.
Got it.
Well, you mentioned you have 12 characters too. Are all of them essential to the story, or can you sort of pick and choose which characters become important to your story?
So basically, as you unlock them over the course of the first few, what we call schemes of the main bad guys, you'll have access to all of them. Once you have access to it, you can play any mission, any of the main missions with any of the agents, and they have their own unique sounds, voice lines whenever they play those missions. So you kind of want to play through the missions a few times with different characters and see what they have to say about it.
And what are the other in-game advantages to playing through these missions again and again? I mean, how are my characters going to change?
So when you complete missions, you get gadgets for your agents, and it gives you more for the ones that you're playing as, unless you've already gotten all of them. So basically, you can level up your guys by playing through the missions again, as well as getting more equipment, more skins, all the things to customize your characters more.
So there's a lot of RPG elements to this, not only for the individual characters, but for the arc as a whole, right?
Yeah, the arc itself levels up as you're leveling up your guys, as you're getting more agents, as you're conquering enemies and saving other parts of Soul.
So across all your agents, there is sort of like a persistence leveling.
Yes.
Right. Yep. Okay. And I imagine that we're unlocking new powers or special abilities.
Yep, they all have their own special abilities, and they'll unlock new gadgets that can modify them, as well as they'll get new abilities that allow them to, hack better or take out different kinds of shields. So,
excellent.
Yeah, it doesn't look like these abilities are limited to combat. You're able to fire these off just completely
whenever you want.
Whenever you want, whatever you'd like to do.
Yeah, and. We have got some gremlin tech, which I don't know if you've had a chance to use that yet, Will, but...
Will, use the gremlin tech, Will. Is that the gremlin tech?
Will just wants to blow stuff up.
All right, Will, so I've known you many years. You've played a lot of games in your time. What's your favorite thing about Agents of Mayhem here?
So it's really about the different agents that you can use. You can kind of hone your squad about in two different ways. If you want to play it on an easier difficulty, then you're choosing agents based on the personality type that you like. But if you're playing on the really hard difficulties, that net you more experience, net you more rewards and loot, because really there's some cool grinding elements to be able to do resource gathering and building within the arc. If you're playing on those hard difficulties to get the hardest resources, then your player choice is about strategy and combining elements. So I can freeze him and then change to Oni and do a bunch of headshots and take him out.
When you talk about some of the resources and sort of things, like what what kind of things will we actually be sort of building or constructing if
so,
we're leveling up?
Yeah, you can build more gremlin tech once you get access to the schematics. Also, all of the gadgets, or all the agents have what we call Legion tech modification. So they basically, as you're killing enemies, you get materials from them, and then you can build these special schematics which will modify the behavior of the gadgets and the agents themselves. So it's like an extra layer.
Can you describe what Gremlin tech is for people?
Yeah, so Gremlin is, she's one of the base agents back at the Ark, and she builds all the technology for Mayhem. She also builds these sort of side things that she uses for fun or to power your guys up, and she gives you access to them, and you can build up more versions of them as you collect the materials. And a lot of the kind of funnier Saints Row weapons that you've seen, we have a lot of those in
that was going to be my next question. You mentioned you had some throwbacks, and there's a lot of, I think, weapons that people had tons of fun with in previous Saint Rows.
Yeah.
So it's possible we might see some alternate versions of those.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
Can you spoil any for us? Just one. Just one.
Well, we have the bowling ball, which is basically just bowling ball, energy ball, basically, and knocks all the enemies out of the way.
Yeah, that was the weapon I was asking about. Thanks. Bowling ball. So, I mean, it looks like you've also combined like a lot of the different types of gameplay elements here. I love the racing. I love that you're sort of seamlessly moving through all these different ways to achieve here. Are different agents going to get different experiences in different situations? Like, you mentioned wanting to switch out to kind of maximize your party and your RPG elements.
Yeah, again, like depending on what happens, they'll respond differently to different things in the missions. But other than that, they also have their own personal missions and unlock missions. So you have to do an unlock mission to get access to them, and you'll learn a little bit about who the agent is, why they're in Mayhem, why they want to fight against Legion. And then they all have a personal mission, which basically will tell you a little bit more about their story, a little bit more about how they relate to Mayhem or Legion.
Mayhem.
So to that point, if I'm like, let's say I complete a mission and I say to myself, actually, if I would have used this different squad, I could have done it much better. That's like totally an option for me to do.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, okay. We want people to figure those things out and apply them.
Oh my god! No, what are you doing, Will?
The children.
They were
just supposed to be a ray. Like, oh.
I think they were probably a little too close to Legion. They must have been brainwashed.
They were dancing. Dancing is forbidden.
So at this point, you're actually like trying to track down the sort of maybe the final boss of the mission?
Yeah. So basically, our pop star August Gaunt, he's sort of giving you the runaround, and you're trying to track him down. You've come to this what we call the temple fortress area, and he's supposed to be somewhere in here. So as you can see, Will sort of scanning, getting a little information about where he might be, and trying to he found something interesting.
Something stinks here.
Yeah. So basically, you get his August Gaunt's cologne.
And is Friday your sort of
She's another one of our
operator.
base agents.
Okay,
yeah,
base
so
agent,
she's one who sort of deploys you, gives you sort of information about what's going on. All the base agents will interact with you and tell you a lot of stuff, but Friday's sort of the main one to really get you going.
So
follow the stink.
Anoop, with August Gone, he's obviously a pop star. Did you just create a pop star, or are there songs in game?
Yeah, so our audio guys actually wrote a few songs for this game, including some for August Gaunt, and I mean once you guys hear them, we can't stop laughing.
So the new summer hits.
Yeah.
Do you know a couple names?
That's great. That's great.
Can you sing one or two for us, Anoop?
No, you don't. You do not.
One of them.
If the audio guys were here,
yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
One of them's called like Chewing Gum Till I'm Crazy.
Yeah.
Peeps.
Yes.
Peeps. Oh my goodness, I need this CD.
So here he's got like a hologram. He sort of tricked you.
Oh, I thought he was on one of
left
those
his fidget spinner.
hovercrafts.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It's going to start on fire and then the mission's over.
So, I mean, we talk a lot about what you can do in this game. Like, what are going to be my constraints as I go about these missions as a player? Are there, like, a lot of, like, time trials? Are there a lot of just sort of, like, what am I not able to do here? And how does that also serve to forward the story?
So each lieutenant has sort of their own part of the scheme that they're carrying out, and you'll sort of tackle them one at a time. There's a lot of variety in what you're doing when you're fighting them. They all have their own unique sort of takes and things that they do. So like August Gone is sort of he's got his music that he's brainwashing people with. So you end up fighting a lot of people, brainwash people.
Does she have glow sticks? Are those like glow stick ninjas actually?
Those are they're energy knives basically.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was a rave ninja too.
I mean, right? It's
there are rave guys.
All the rave, right?
You will see those in these missions, but
that's good.
But yeah, some of them will require driving. Some will require a lot of combat. There's a lot of traps in there. We have Legion layers. These are underground bases that they've established throughout Seoul. You'll go and explore and find a lot of their activity in there, and they have a lot of tricks that's their home base. So you have to be a lot more careful when you're in those areas.
So can you talk to us a little bit about like how sort of mission failure works? Right, it's always kind of interesting, right? Like I'm like, oh, I messed up. I want to go in with a new squad, right? Is it you're not getting any rewards or anything from doing that? Actually, you go back to the Ark. I'm not suggesting.
I'll explain.
Are you failing the mission?
No, this is Kingpin's ultimate ability. He basically calls down this boombox, and any enemy that in that circle around will basically start dancing.
What a great! So everyone's got like, unique dances and stuff
yes,
too.
Each enemy type has its own dance.
So those mayhem abilities, every agent has their own specific mayhem.
Yep. And then you can get gadgets which will modify them as well.
And do you add to those as you power up, like, or is it just kind of the one specific one, and then you're modifying that one?
You modify that one, and then, but you can change the modification anytime you want.
Well, we can go into squad and show you a little bit of that.
Yeah,
I was curious about.
So if I go in here and I look at my upgrades, you can really upgrade the minutia of every character and take them and really customize them to your individual playstyle. So it's not necessarily just about that individual character that you like. You can like a specific modification of an individual character to really customize their gameplay the way that you want to play them.
And if I mess up, I can just...
You can totally
refund the point.
And I don't have to like collect 10,000 mayhem bucks or something. All right.
That's a 10 points for fun right
that
there.
Is. Like, it is. Like, I hate the way this plays.
We want people to experiment and try different things out, so we don't want to penalize you for making choices like that.
That's as a game player, thank you. Yeah, that's
so,
great.
I mean, you've been working hard on this game, and I know, like, everyone who works on a game puts a little piece of special love in there. Like, what are we looking for from you? Did you hide, like, a special little picture in there? Did you put a side mission in for us? What is your little piece of your soul in this game?
I mean, for me, like, I really like, for me, the having the different agents and the different ideas for them. Like, I didn't come up with all of them myself or anything like that, but being able to come up with this idea and really push this idea of this multinational agency that goes around stopping these bad guys, I feel like we did a great job the team did a great job of pulling that off, and that's to me is, like, I have no favorite agents. I love most of them, and whenever we do play testing, we have people tell us what are your favorite agents, which ones you dislike, and there's there are different answers across the board.
That's great.
That's like
I think
there's no like clear favorites or people ones that people hate entirely. So that's for me the most exciting thing about making this game.
That's great. I mean, first off, thank you again for bringing a live demo to us. Is there any place over the course of the week, if someone's coming to the expo, that they can come and maybe check this out themselves?
Yeah, so we'll have a bunch of kiosks on the Square Enix booth. So definitely come check us out. We'll have people manning there. I'll probably be there a little bit too, and yeah, we definitely look forward to having people come and check out the game. We're super excited.
Yeah, and there's one other thing we just wanted to kind of go over is we were talking about how this game really takes a lot of elements from Saints Row and brings them to this audience, because this isn't the next Saints Row, but it's by the same developer, and there's obviously a lot of characters. You look at Kingpin, you look at Oni, and then there's a character we just announced last week that we're bringing, which a lot of fans are really excited about. We're bringing Johnny Gat as a playable character.
Yeah.
And Anoop was talking about earlier that when you bring a new character to the game, it's not just a skin or something. When you bring a character to a game, to this game specifically, it's over a couple of thousand lines of dialogue.
Right.
It's their individual agent missions, which is an initial 2 hours of content. You have their unlock missions, their story missions, their individual weapons and vehicle skins. So there's a lot of content that comes with adding individual playable characters.
And I don't know that we mentioned this, but so I'll kind of get an intro to each agent as I go through, and we'll play. Okay, that's
so
great.
Those 2D animatics that you saw, because you saw the intro to Star Power, which is the I had to force my way in there. But the intro to Star Power, which is introducing you to August Gaunt. There's those 2D animatics, which goes to that comic book style for every individual character when you're intro to them.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah, every lieutenant has their own introduction like that, and as well as every agent.
Oh, I mean, I know that fans of sort of the characters of the world that exists in, you know, it's silly and it's great at the same time. It offers a lot of action as well. And
you based this off Will, right? That's hilarious.
So I had to get the August Gaunt haircut.
I know you have that blanket.
Are there any additional details in terms of like when players might get their hands on this, consoles and platforms, and do we have that?
August 15th, right? Or
August 15th in the...
Let's see what this baby can do.
Agents of Mayhem. A ragtag crew on a crusade to battle the evils of the power-hungry. The tyrannical.
I rule this world!
And those that double park.
Teach them to hog the road.
Mayhem. An explosive detour into the dangerous world of a city on the brink of oblivion.
I am shooting you from space!
Who's ready to kill?
On my mark.
Shall we bust ass, as they say?
Yeah, let's do this!
Do you have your pilot's license? My lug nuts are tingling.
Next time on Agents of Mayhem.